Hey everybody, this is Dan with DPS Breakdowns. In today's video, we're going to look at a clip of Alexandro Sodré passing João Miyao's guard. So let's get right to it. So first, let's just see the full clip in full speed, and then we'll analyze in more detail. And there it is. So I guess before we get in, for those that don't follow the jiu-jitsu competitive scene super closely, guy on top here, Alex Sodré. Guy on the bottom is João Miyao, pretty big name in the jiu-jitsu competitive scene. Him and his brother Paulo are considered two of the better guard players. They're actually quite well-rounded now, but just traditionally have been known for their guards. Super hard to pass. They're very flexible, amazing guard retention. So whenever their guards get passed, it's a really big deal. I want to run through this sequence several times. First time, just a play-by-play, what's happening, and then from there we can get a little bit deeper into the concepts. So first thing to notice, Joao's playing this underhook de la Riva guard on his left side. He's got a cross-collar grip with his right arm. And Alex is going to force his headquarters position, so you can see how he pushes Joao's right leg in between both of his. And he's going to move laterally here, Alex is. So he's going to move his right leg towards his left, and that's going to free his ankle from that underhook grip here. Post his hand for support, maintain base, and he's going to transition right into this long step here. So when you're doing the long step, you want to fall to the elbow and hip on the same side. So in this case, it's going to be on Alex's left. He's got that collar grip with his left hand. Post on the elbow, drops to his left hip here. And so traditionally, you'll see guys, they'll keep control, they'll maintain control of the bottom player's far leg. That's the way that the long step is traditionally done. But here, Alex is going to switch to near side leg control. Once he gets that near side control, he gets off of his hip, gets to both feet, he's in this tripod position. So head's low, hips are high, and he's moving around. Maintains good control with that straight arm on the near side leg. Joao's going to, you can see how he's hooking the armpit here with his far leg, trying to follow. And then here, Alex is going to transition, he's going to switch his form of control, keeps the collar grip as he does this, and he's looking to stabilize in a more north-south style position here. As he does this, you can see how he's maintaining. Now he's controlling the near side leg more at the ankle than at the pant. He's keeping his head really low here to try to prevent João from bringing his knees to his elbows, staying curled in a ball. And then you can see here, this is really cool. Alex keeps the collar grip with his left arm, but he's going to use the left elbow to shuck Joao's, it'd be his left leg off here. So shucks it off, keeps control of the ankle on this side, the near side, and from here he's in a great position. He's going to get his head low, scoop underneath the hip with his right hand, going to keep his head close to Joao's hip here, so not so much by the chest but closer to the hip. He's going to stabilize. Really, really impressive. So as we run through it again, I want to illustrate three concepts that I thought about as I watched this clip several times. The first is going to be the idea of timing, and it's going to be about chaining movements together to open up these windows to pass. Second's going to be the idea of disrupting the guard player's elbow-knee connection and occupying that space. And then the third is going to be the concept of pinning the bottom player's upper body to immobilize his hips. So let's think, I'm going to go through those as we see the clip again. So the first is timing, and kind of went over this in the last run through, how Alex is going to essentially jump out of this underhook control as you can see he plants his left hand for base here. But you can see right now, João has a grip here on the collar, or the lapel. He's got the underhook here. He's got his de la Riva with his left leg. As Alex does this movement where he gets out of the underhook de la Riva, Paulo's going to lose, or sorry, not Paulo, João is going to lose both of his grips. So he's not doing anything with either hand, and this is just going to be a tiny little window. But this is the exact moment that he's going to be the most vulnerable to the guard pass. So it's in these transitions where the bottom player is switching his grips, maybe going to a different guard, or is forced to just do something differently with his gripping scheme, and that's going to give you the opportunity to go. So as this happens, Alex is right away looking for that long step here. So really kind of, maybe it doesn't seem like much, but this is a really big concept at the high levels of competition. Once that person on the bottom has if they have a good guard, they have two good grips on you, they've got their legs in a good position, very stifling, very difficult. So the transition is important. The second concept is the one I really want to hammer on, and that's this idea of disrupting the elbow-knee connection. So some of you guys, if you watch John Thomas's stuff, if you watch Rafa Mendes, they're always talking about this elbow-knee connection, super important. And so what this grip does from this long step here, so as Alex switches to the near leg and he straightens his arm out here, it makes it very difficult for João to close this space. It's hard for him to bring his knee to his elbow here. It's going to open that space up. It's going to give Alex the opportunity to occupy it for the guard pass. So here you can see he's on his feet. He's got that right arm straight. And there's a lot of space there, a lot of daylight. And so he's going to transition into this new movement here. He's going to pull up on the collar. And this gives João the opportunity to bring his elbows back to, or his knees back to his elbows here. So he's curled up in a ball, generally a good position to be in when you're maintaining guard. But look how Alex maintained, now he switches to the ankle control here. Like I said before, he's going to use his own elbow with his left arm to knock the other leg away. And so again, there's these spaces between the elbows and knees here. And Alex is going to occupy that. As soon as that opens up, you can see right here, there's not much space, but watch how he pushes the ankle away. And then right away, his head and chest go in that space here. And then eventually you can see there, he puts his right arm underneath. And so now it's his space. He's occupied it. And he's not going to give it back. And so the final concept, and I don't want to spend a ton of time in this video, maybe talk about it more at a different time, but it's just the idea of maintaining upper body control through some kind of pin, so you keep the person flat with their upper body, and it's going to greatly immobilize the hips. So there's that upper body hip connection that's really important here. And you can see I like this where João looks to get his left arm to the other side of Alex's head, and Alex blocks it here. So he's ready for it, blocks it. And with João's elbow pinned now behind his back, there's just no way for him to be able to turn in. He's not going to be able to belly down to mobilize his hips. And so he's going to be stuck here. And so he maintains this control for a really long time. That's the other thing about this clip, is it's not just a quick 3 count and then João gets his guard back. He takes this for a very long time. Here, finally gets that arm to the other side of the head. Let's run through it one more time. So again, keeping in mind that notion of timing the guard pass. Thinking about the transition of the guard player's grips. Great opportunity to go. Long step controls that bottom leg here. Just thought of this. Another really good example of this bottom leg control on the long step is Lucas Pinheiro against Michael Musumeci. Pinheiro actually passed Musumeci's guard one of the few times I think that's ever happened in competition with this same exact grip scheme. So something to think about if you like the long step. Might want to experiment playing with this bottom leg control. Really powerful. Keeps the collar, uses his elbow, and right away he's going to occupy that space in that elbow-knee connection. It's going to disrupt the elbow-knee connection rather. Grabs this belt grip, scoops underneath the hip, head's nice and tight, and he's going to stabilize it and get his 3. So that's going to be it, guys. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.